You won't believe what Gerard Butler finally admitted after nearly 2 decades of silence. Behind the glory of 300, one of the most iconic action movies ever, was chaos, blood, and danger. So real it nearly cost people their lives. He says every single day someone was being carried off that set to the hospital. And once you hear what he went through, you'll never look at him or that movie the same way again. Gerard Butler wasn't supposed to be a Hollywood action star. Born in Paisley, Scotland in 1969, his life started with upheaval. His parents split before he was even 2 years old. And for 14 years, he didn't know if his father was alive or gone forever. Then one day at age 16, he walked home from school and found his dad waiting for him. Gerard broke down crying for hours. That reunion changed his life. It opened the door to summers in Canada and even trips to Jamaica with the man who had been a mystery for so long. At school, Gerard was sharp, charismatic, and ambitious. He became head boy, the top role for a student at his school, and went on to study law at the University of Glasgow. Everyone thought he was destined to become a brilliant lawyer. But Gerard had a secret. While his classmates buried themselves in textbooks, he was sneaking into clubs at night, singing in a rock band. He wasn't trained, but he poured every ounce of emotion into covers of The Doors, Eric Clapton, and Jimi Hendrix. The fire was there. Performance, not paperwork, was in his blood. But then came disaster. At 27, just a week away from qualifying as a lawyer, Gerard went out drinking during the Edinburgh Festival. The law firm fired him on the spot. Years of work gone in a moment. But instead of destroying him, it may have saved him. Butler admitted later that if he had stayed in law, his drinking would have killed him. That day forced him to quit alcohol completely and chase something new. He moved to London, broke and desperate. He waited tables, worked in telemarketing, even sold toys on the street just to get by. Then fate intervened. An old friend from the Scottish Youth Theatre, now a casting director, gave him a shot. She introduced him to theater auditions, and soon Gerard was standing on stage reading Shakespeare. He had no experience, but his raw energy blew people away. From there, tiny roles started trickling in. A guard in Tomorrow Never Dies, a small part in Mrs. Brown. Then in Dracula 2000, he landed the lead, his first real chance. The film bombed, but Hollywood noticed him. By the time he moved to Los Angeles at 30, Butler was hungry. He clawed his way into bigger projects: Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Phantom of the Opera, the Scottish drama Dear Frankie. Each role proved he wasn't just a one-note tough guy. He could sing, charm, fight, or break your heart with a quiet scene. But everything changed in 2007 when he stepped into the role of King Leonidas in 300. And here's where things get insane. The entire movie was filmed indoors in just 60 days, almost entirely in front of blue screens. No mountains, no real battlefields, just emptiness and imagination. Out of more than 1,500 shots, over 8,000 separate visual effects were stitched together later. To stay locked in, Butler had to train like his life depended on it. And it kind of did. The cast went through a brutal 4-month program designed by mountain climber Mark Twight. It wasn't your average gym routine. Some days they flipped tractor tires. Other days they lifted until failure. The goal was survival. The final test, nicknamed the 300 workout, was 300 reps of pure hell. Pull-ups, deadlifts, push-ups, box jumps, kettlebell presses, all back-to-back with no rest. Only 17 actors survived it. Butler said some days he was so sick from training, he thought he'd collapse. But when he finally put on that Spartan armor, he didn't feel like an actor anymore. He felt like a warrior. But the price was steep. Butler tore a tendon in his arm, wrecked his hip flexor, and ended up with nerve damage in his leg. And he wasn't alone. In a 2025 interview, he revealed that on that set, every single day, someone was going to the hospital. One actor took a spear to the eye. Another broke an ankle during what should have been a simple scene. Even though the swords were dulled, they were still steel. Half a second too slow, and someone bled. And the irony? Almost all the blood you see in 300 is fake. The production only used about 2 gallons of stage blood. Nearly every spray and splatter was digital. So the injuries were real, but the gore was fake. After 300 exploded with $456 million at the box office, Butler could have coasted as an action hero forever. But he surprised everyone by starring in a tender romantic drama. P.S. I Love You. which earned another $156 million and proved he could break hearts as easily as he broke spears. Still, the action world pulled him back with the Has Fallen series and Den of Thieves. His films have now made more than $3.2 billion worldwide. But success came with near-death experiences. On the set of Butterfly on a Wheel, he was hit by a Range Rover during a stunt and wrecked his neck. In 2011, while surfing for Chasing Mavericks, he was pummeled by waves so powerful he nearly drowned. In 2017, a bee venom therapy gone wrong sent him into life-threatening shock twice. And in 2018, the Woolsey fire burned his Malibu home to the ground. Through it all, Butler kept pushing forward. Off camera, he's battled addiction. First alcohol in his 20s, then prescription painkillers after his stunt injuries. He's been to rehab. He's hit rock bottom, but he's always fought his way back. He's also poured himself into charity work, especially supporting Mary's Meals, which now feeds millions of children worldwide. Today at 55, Butler is still a star, still making hits, and still pushing through pain most of us will never understand. His journey from a failed lawyer to a global action icon proves one thing: he's a survivor. Whether it's on the battlefield of Thermopylae or in his own life, Gerard Butler never quits. So what do you think? Does Butler deserve more respect as one of Hollywood's toughest survivors? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you learned something new. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that dig beneath the surface of the movies you thought you knew.